no big changes. What this has pretty much said is we know exactly what Foster wants from his team. Foster has got what he's what. Foster will live and die with these players, which is fine. Borderline fantastic. We know what we're going to get as an All Black squad for the 2023 World Cup. Hello and welcome back to the Sports Booth YouTube channel. Today you're joined by myself, Luke, as we look at the All Black squad that's just been named for the Test Series against Japan, and then the Northern Tour where they take on Wales, Scotland, and the big one against England. As we know, Ian Foster's been pretty true to his word and stuck with kind of the guns he has, and he's done it again. I mean, there isn't a lot of changes when we look at the squad from the end of the Rugby Championship and the guys that were delivering with that to now. I guess it poses a few questions about where we're at with squad depth and a couple of things, but with a World Cup coming into next year, he's obviously got a group of players he trusts, and he's pushing them forward now to get that experience and get that game time, and hoping that will reward them come this time next year, get those guys who are, used to the European atmosphere, used to the European football before heading over there next year. So if we start with the squad, let's look at the hookers first. It's an interesting one, and this position's, I guess, one of the tougher ones. We've got Sony Takihao, who's guaranteed starter, I think, for the All Blacks for the next few years at least. The other two, with Dane Coles and Cody Taylor, they've been selected again, and this is where I'm interested. I don't think their form necessarily warrants selection, and the way Asafa Amor has been playing, Kurt Eklund's been playing for Bay of Plenty in Wellington, I kind of go, it looked like there's an opportunity I felt there for especially Amor to get him back into the circle and go from there. But big time players, Cody Taylor, Dane Coles, experience, vast majority of it. So I'm not going to argue with those selections. I think that's one of the few where I kind of go, okay, interesting. Into the props, and again, similar. We go Bauer, De Groot, Laulaula, Lomax, Newell, and Tuiona Fussy, and good props there. I would have liked again to see maybe an Ollie Norris in there, Tamatai Williams get in there. Those, especially Williams, I think he has a bright future in the propping ranks, so eventually he'll be in there. But I just feel like we've missed something. We've not selecting again another younger prop. We know Laulaula and Tuiona Fussy can do it, but I guess going with an experienced heads it's not a bad decision. Locks, as expected again, I guess Patrick Tuipulotu, the man to miss out if we're going with a miss out. We've got Barrett, Retallick, Whitelock, and Tupavai. So those four have kind of been the pillars. No one really saw that changing there. Tom Robinson, unlucky to miss out, but again, with those four, Tupavai is obviously the future, so the three that are in there around them, with Barrett still young enough to play, Whitelock is going to be around to the next World Cup, so it just made sense, those lock-ins. There's not much argument you can make for anyone else in there. Flankers again, same business. We've got Kane, Sevilla, Papali'i, Oane, Frizzell and Satutu. Again, you can't go wrong with that lot. The Jacobson boys have been playing really well in the ITM Cup. There's a lot of good players in those flank ranks. But I mean, the biggest one to miss out are Cullen Grace and Blackadder, who are both injured. So when we're looking at it like that, it is tough. Like, from here, I don't see anyone else being able to knock these guys out of their spot in the All Blacks for the next year's World Cup, unless someone has an outrageous Super Rugby. And so that's Blackadder where we're looking at, I think. But those six deserve it on their merits to be there. Halfback, same. Christie, Fakatava and Aaron Smith. Those three, they were selected for a reason. The only one you kind of go away from, if you're taking Fakatava into the Tri-Nations and all that, or the Rugby Championship, you're definitely taking away at the end of the year. If the only one I could have seen change is if they wanted to go Christie in for like a Perenara or a Weber, or another youthful experience. But I still think, like, when I look at it, I don't know, I think Weber and Perenara will be those two of the halfbacks in the upcoming XV team. At least one of them will make it. I wouldn't be surprised if both. And then one will join them, a younger one, and Xavier Rowe, maybe, or Atama. Roy Guard's been playing really well for Counties Manukau, so I don't want to, discount him either. So there's some really good talent coming through there. But yeah, I didn't expect a change here. The first fives, or the fly halves, are the big one, and I guess it's only the big one because of one name, Damien McKenzie. He's been playing for Waikato primarily as a 10, also able to fill out fullback. D-Mac misses out. So we have Bowden Barrett, Perifeta, and Richie Mwanga. When you look at those selections, and if we look at the back three as well, we've got Barrett, Whanganuku, Reece, Clark, and Will Jordan. So it's hard. Where does D-Mac fit in there? I still think there's a spot. They've kind of gone Perifeta over D-Mac. Now, my thing here would be two things. I obviously want to give Perifeta a fair chance, which is good. You need, like we've seen, we may need a fourth choice first five, and I think I don't mind that. I'm interested about not having D-Mac in the squad at all. When we touch base on the centres, which is kind of the only questionable and discussion point here, because Geordie Barrett, how well he could play 12 showed, but he's vastly sort of skillful enough to play fullback, and we've seen it. He's our first choice fullback, as in Foster's eyes. I would still sway to Jordan, but there's critics out there of Jordan, and especially defensively, and then what Jordan can do on the wing is pretty freakish. So Barrett is our fullback. So if we think like that, then okay, where does D-Mac fit in? And it's probably Perifeta's spot. And wouldn't surprise me if it come World Cup time and if D-Mac has a good Super Rugby season, he succeeds Perifeta in the pecking order. But yeah, for now, I don't mind this decision. I hope this is well communicated with D-Mac. That's all I'm going to say. So as an All Black supporter, okay, yes, D-Mac hasn't been selected. Damien McKenzie I'm speaking of. But if New Zealand Rugby have said to him, look, you're still in our plans for the World Cup. You have a good Super Rugby season. Have a bit of time off. He came from Japan, then playing this. Get yourself back into it. Away we go. The thing is, I don't think in Japan, Perifeta will come onto the bench, so I don't think Barrett or Mo'unga plays that. At the end of the day, Barrett and Mo'unga are still our two first five. So McKenzie's looking at it as a fullback role, as far as I'm concerned, which is why I think it's interesting he's played Waikato 10 this whole season. And I'm going to be really interested to see where he lines up with the Chiefs now, especially with Chase Tiatia no longer at the Chiefs. But the way Sean Stevenson's been playing for North Harbour as well, that Chiefs side's going to be really interesting to watch and see how D-Mac kind of responds. Okay, the centres. Enoa, Tui Vasashek, Ioane, Leonard Brown, and Havili. So it's an interesting one. Obviously, Anton Leonard Brown's came back for Waikato, just played in the quarterfinal there. They lost, came off the bench. They're taking him away because when he's on his best, he's the best centre, one of the best centres we've got, and he can play 12-13, and you've got no problem. I think, yeah, he'll be in there and around the 12 number. I think they'll be looking to get him at 12, coming back from injury. I don't mind this. I think they would love for Waikato to probably play a couple more games. But, yeah, I'm interested to see, especially in that Japan game, I think that would be a good one to bring him back in. But, yeah, how quickly can he return? He's obviously fully fit playing rugby, so if he's been selected for Waikato. So, again, great selection. One of our best centres, if not best centre, along with Ioane. It kind of seals up that 12 spot. Eno's an interesting one because, obviously, he's our 13 cover, but as long as Rico's fit and healthy, they're just going to plug and play him with the way he's been playing. So then you've got Havili and Tui Vasashek. Now, Tui Vasashek's the big winner, I think, here. He'll definitely get game time on this tour. Obviously, we with Quinn Tupaia and his injury, and I don't want to touch too much on that because of just everything that went around with it. But, yeah, this is set up for Leonard Brown to come in to get a smooth sailing in. But I definitely see Tui Vasashek starting a game, especially against Japan or against the likes of Wales or Scotland. I think when we look at this team, it's going to be very similar to what we saw in the first Bledisloe Cup game when we play England. The big game's England. If we can tick boxes up into there, which we should be, and that's not to say that Wales or Scotland shouldn't be taking us. Like we're still at a point where we're not on top of the rugby world anymore. We aren't just going to games expecting to win. They're going to be hard-fought games, but I can see us going, yep, we take care of Wales, we take care of Scotland. Then the big one against England at Twickenham. I see the back line being Smith, Mo'unga, Havili or Leonard Brown will be the decision how ready Leonard Brown is, and then centre Ioane, Jordan Barrett and Clark on the wings. So that's your back line. Full pack will be exactly the same as we've always seen. It'll be Retallick, Whitelock. Probably they'll go De Groot if he keeps playing the way he is with Lomax and Takihao to start, and then Kane, Sevilla, and Frizzell or Ioane. Frizzell played well enough at the Rugby Championship to hold that spot as long as he's healthy as well. So, I mean, no big changes. What this has pretty much said is we know exactly what Foster wants from his team. Foster has got what he's what. Foster will live and die with these players, which is fine. borderline fantastic. We know what we're going to get as an All Black squad for the 2023 World Cup. It's going to take one of these players to be injured. It's going to take someone to have a rare, incredible set of form to push their way in. So then now we have to move on to the All Blacks XV and see, okay, cool. Who are they targeting as that next generation, as well as, I guess, that group to play? Because they're going to be playing some hard games against the Barbarians. Whenever an All Blacks team or an All Blacks name is attached to something, you expect a victory. And that's not just an arrogant New Zealander saying that. That is all of New Zealand's expectations. So to me, it goes, if this All Blacks XV are to disappoint, it'll be quite embarrassing for New Zealand rugby. And we had this discussion, I know, in New Zealand rugby a while ago with the All Black Sevens when they weren't winning a lot. And it was the New Zealand Sevens, they changed it to the All Black Sevens. And is that on brand, if you know what I mean? Like All Blacks is a brand now. So it's interesting. It'll be really interesting to see who they select in that. But for now, those are my thoughts on the squad. I think that the big position of questions, number 2, I'm surprised Amour's not in there. The other ones, D-Mac, obviously not being in the squad, will have everyone kind of talking. I hope it was communicated well to him. And then Tui Vasicek is the big winner in my eyes. Would love to hear your thoughts on who you thought was the winner or the losers, or how did they leave out D-Mac. But yeah, for now, thank you for joining me. We'll talk to you later. Bye.